Woo! That was a doozy, wasn't it? Oh my goodness, that had NBA Finals vibes. What a game. Let's break down everything from Tobias Harris's ridiculous, amazing, beautiful game-winning shot to LeBron James hating the process and trying to take him out and being a little bitch about it, and everything else that had that happened in this game. Let's go. This episode of Run It Back Philly is brought to you by the Teespring Store. Click the link in the description. Get all the Run It Back merch. Use the code RUNBY20 for 20% off. I am rocking the They Hate the Process t-shirt because apparently LeBron James hates the process too. Also, buymeacoffee.com/runitback. Thank you to David for buying me a coffee. David says, man, you're made for this. Continue to bring out the great content. Watching from Switzerland. Shout out to Switzerland. Thank you, Dave. And also, my sister bought me a coffee. Thank you, sister. Just because you're the best and no one talks Philly sports quite like you do, I love you. I love you too. Thank you for buying me a coffee. Buymeacoffee.com/runitback if you would like to show your appreciation for all of this dedicated Philly sports talk. Let's get right into this. First of all, hit the subscribe button if you're brand new. I give you these podcast episodes every single day. All I want is a subscription. It's the little red button under the video. And Run It Back Nation, 5 seconds to hit the like button as many times as possible. And hit the dislike button if you're a fraud. All right, so Sixers versus Lakers, primetime, ESPN, both teams healthy. This is finally the first actual test that we get this season with this team to gauge how good they actually are when we have a full roster and we play another above 500 quality team, one of the best with the best record in the NBA with a healthy roster, a full healthy roster, no COVID restrictions, no minor injuries, none of that. Two of the best teams in the league squaring off on ESPN, fully healthy rosters ready to go, and we, the Sixers, did not disappoint. Tobias Harris didn't disappoint. Ben Simmons didn't disappoint. Joel Embiid didn't disappoint. Let's talk about everything. So I'm going to start this off by giving Tobias Harris credit. Okay, Tobias Harris, I sincerely apologize for everything I've ever said about you. Even though you were fat and slow last year, you put in the work this offseason to get your ass in shape. I think it has a lot to do with Doc Rivers. And you look quick, you look bouncy, you got a little pep in your step. You're not just relying on a jump shot all the time. You're beating people to the rim. You're going right at the chest of centers, Marc Gasol, Anthony Davis. You're taking it to the rack and finishing in contact. You've become what you were back in LA and what we traded for and what we paid you for. And it's just amazing what a head coaching change can do. You know, Doc Rivers, the first thing he said when he came here is, we got to get in shape. Straight up. He said, these guys aren't in shape. He walked in that gym and he said, okay, you bunch of pampered millionaires, get on the line and run laps until you vomit. Everybody looks in better shape. Embiid's in better shape. Tobias is in better shape. It's looking, my arm thing is pissing me off already. Everybody looks like they're in better shape. All right, so the Lakers come, the thing we're obviously going to talk about is the very end of the game first. The Lakers come back down from 14-point deficit. I can't even talk today. This is my third coffee, and I'm still having trouble. The Lakers come back down from 14 points. The Lakers come back from down 14 points with a little bit of help of the officials. You know, I'm not going to blame this game on the officials, but it was a combination of a lot of things. It was a combination of the Lakers making very, very, very tough shots. We weren't playing horrible defense. We gave them a couple wide open ones, but the one at the end, the Caldwell Pope fadeaway from the end was ridiculous on some really good defense. All right, and then on the other end, we got Embiid missing a couple jumpers. We got the refs decide not to call a foul on Anthony Davis where he clearly hacked Embiid on a jump shot. The very next possession, after the Lakers hit another three, Tobias tries to come around the screen and Dennis Schroeder falls over like he got sniped in the face from somebody in the rafters, flops. Refs give him the call, of course. We come back down. It was getting really annoying, and the Lakers went on a ridiculous run, and then we play good defense. LeBron makes an insane pass to Caldwell Pope, who hits a gigantic three in the corner to make it a 1-point game. And then we come back down again. We come down, 40 seconds on the clock. We're up 1. We need something to ice it, right? Ben Simmons passes the ball to Danny Green and smothered in the corner. I was freaking out. There's no way this is our final play. There's no way that's what we drew up. It was just Ben Simmons had the ball, and he was like, I don't want the ball anymore. And he passed it to Danny Green instead of looking over at Tobias. Anyway, I'm not going to rag him for that because we won the game. But that was a really bad possession. Danny Green airballs the three or maybe hit off the front of the rim or whatever. Lakers come right back down. Anthony Davis gets a big-time illegal screen from Dennis Schroeder and gets a wide-open layup. I know they're not going to call it in that situation, but come on, bro. He didn't even set a screen. He was in a football stance. He looked like a linebacker. He literally set a screen like this. Now, somebody tell me, is this a legal screen? No, totally illegal screen in crunch time that gets Anthony Davis a wide open layup. And then we come back down, and Tobias Harris says, okay, no more messing around. Give me the damn ball. And I love that attitude. I love that Mamba mentality. And he gets the ball, comes around the screen. They switch. He gets Alex Caruso's little ass one-on-one pause and takes a couple dribbles, gets to his sweet spot, and nails a mid-range jumper. Gave him a little sneaky push-off. They're not going to call that in that situation. Takes advantage of his size advantage, gives a little shove to Caruso, and hits a beautiful mid-range jumper for the dub. Thank you, Tobias Harris. The resurrection of Tobias Harris has been beautiful. He's been beating people to the rim this year. He just looks quick. He looks younger for some reason. He looks quicker. He looks like a more complete all-around player. Last year and the year before, it looked like he was just relying solely on his three-point shot. Now he's dribbling into the mid-range. He's going all the way to the rim. He's going right at the chest of Marc Gasol and Anthony Davis and finishing in contact. He's scoring on 3 different levels, and he just looks so energetic, and he looks like he's having so much fun. Is Tobias Harris an all-star this year? I think Tobias Harris might be an all-star this year. And I spent a lot of time this year already saying, who's our go-to scorer? We need a go-to scorer. And when this game was down to where it was, the people I was talking to, I was like, here it is. Here's what I say all the time. We need the 1-point game, 11 seconds left. Who's the go-to scorer? And it happened to be one of our $180 million max contract players, and that's what we paid you for, Tobias. Nicely done, nicely done, nicely done. Let's talk about LeBron James hating the process. I was always a LeBron James fan. Ever since his high school games were on TV back in the day, 2003. A lot of you guys weren't around then, but I was, and I was a huge LeBron James fan, and I've always been a LeBron James fan. And I went to the game that I went to, actually, same game where I met Ben Simmons' dad. If you didn't hear that story, go back and find it. I went to that game against the Cavs in Philly. I was lower level, and when LeBron James' name was announced, everybody booed. And I was like, why does everybody hate LeBron James? I didn't even know everybody in Philly hates LeBron James. And a guy next to me was like, because he bitches the whole game. And I'm like, oh, they really hate him that much? And then I slowly notice every single play call, this guy's yelling at the referees. Every single play call. It's so damn annoying. He's one of the best players ever, but God, he's annoying. You know what I mean? Like, he's just so entitled. You guys are supposed to call every foul for me. I'm LeBron James. Oh, it's annoying, man. So a couple bitch-ass moves by LeBron James in this game. That's the thing about LeBron. I love him as a player. I think he's one of the greatest players ever. But he is a bitch-ass. So a couple of bitch-ass moves by LeBron James in this game, okay? He drives the lane on Embiid and Simmons, finishes in contact, and throws like an elbow to Embiid after the play, right? And I'm like, what is LeBron doing? Like, what? He's acting like a little bitch right now. You know what I mean? And another possession a little bit later, Embiid sets a screen. LeBron, I was going to show the clip on here, but of course it's copyright. I watched it in slow motion. LeBron just grabs Embiid, flops on his back, and pulls him down and gets a moving screen call. Like, that is a really bitch move, right? And then later in the game, I don't know what the hell was going through LeBron James' head. Joel Embiid gets the ball on a roll to the basket and says, I am going to dunk the life out of everyone on this court, and tries to hammer it down. LeBron James decides, nah, I'm LeBron James. You're not going to dunk on me. And instead of jumping and trying to defend it, he just shoves him out of midair. And Embiid lands flat on his back. And I didn't know it was as bad as it was when I first saw it until I watched the replay. And I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell is LeBron James doing? It was actually like disgraceful. It really was. It was an embarrassment. It was a disgrace to the game of basketball. It was a disservice to the game of basketball. That's a bitch move, LeBron James. That is such a bitch move. You don't do that when you've been in the league for 17 years and you're supposed to have this worldly respect for the game and all that kind of stuff, man. You don't do that. So in my frustrations, of course, I tweet at LeBron James, and I got suspended from Twitter because I said this, and hopefully I remember to edit this out of the YouTube video. I said, you were my favorite player since your high school games were on TV at King James. But after what you did to Embiid tonight and how you acted afterwards, you're now a full-blown ass and can my you bitch. That's what I said to LeBron James on Twitter. I forgot we live in a hypersensitive time where you're not allowed to say things like that, and I got locked out of Twitter for 24 hours, which is probably a good thing because I tweet too much in the first place. Follow me on Twitter at IamDJ Eastwood. The funny part about the play is that LeBron James actually walks over to the officials and tries to argue the call. Are you kidding me? Come on, LeBron. God, I was such a huge fan of yours, and now I'm jumping on the la bitch train. You are la bitch from now on. I'm sick of your shit. Imagine if there was fans in Philly when that went down. Imagine if there was fans in Philly when he shoved Embiid out of midair and then actually tried to argue it to the officials on the other side. That is just pathetic. Philly fans would have went absolutely apeshit in that building, and I would have loved to have been there. Hopefully, COVID's over soon, and we get to go to games, and we get to experience some things, not Embiid getting body slammed onto the floor, but we get to experience being in a crowd. Yeah, that's all I got to say about the LeBron James thing. Let's talk about big, fast passer guy for a second. Ben Simmons, a.k.a. big, fast passer guy, because for the majority of this season so far, he's big, he's fast, and he runs up and down the floor and passes the ball, and that's all he really does. He woke up today and decided to play basketball. Ben Simmons woke up today and decided to try. He decided to give a little bit of effort in this game. And that's what really pisses me off about this dude. Ben Simmons got a 17-point triple-double in this game. Ben Simmons could get a 17-point triple-double against every team in the league every night with his eyes closed. He just does it whenever he wants to. He picks and chooses. Like, come on, man. You're going to totally not show up against one of the Detroit Pistons? You're going to not show up? And then against the Lakers in primetime, you're going to decide to give effort? That's what pisses me off about this dude. You should be giving 100% effort every single night, especially on a max contract. I do think Ben Simmons, right off the tip, goes hard to the rim 2 or 3 times to get his confidence going. I do think he has an actual confidence issue. I think when he misses a shot or two, or has a bad turnover or something, he gets in his own head and he completely steps back and disengages from the game, and that's not a good thing. That's a bad thing. But this game, right off the tip, he takes it to the rim a couple times, goes right at LeBron James, which just cracks me up. Goes right at LeBron James. There's a game a couple weeks ago where you wouldn't take Duncan Robinson to the rim, and now you're taking LeBron James to the rim. You know, so he's the most confusing basketball player I've ever seen in my life, but in this game, I think he wanted to go to the rim a couple times early to get his confidence going, and it seemed to work for him. And, of course, I was talking my shit. I was saying, all right, he has 6 points in 3 minutes, but now watch, he's not going to score again the rest of the game. And he actually kept it up. He disappeared a little bit in second and third, whatever, but he kept it up for the most part, had a couple more nice drives to the basket, hard takes, got fouled by Marc Gasol going right at his chest. Like, that's all we want, Ben Simmons. I'm not even asking you to be LeBron James 2.0 anymore. All I want is for you to give 110% every night, go hard to the rim, get to the foul line, get a couple buckets, and have a 17-point triple-double. That's all we ask. That's it. That's all you need to do. If Ben Simmons can continue, and he won't, because it's been years now where he plays really, really hard one night and then disappears the next night. If he could possibly continue this, and this would end up being an NBA Finals series, the Lakers and Sixers, I do think the Sixers could take it in 7 games with Tobias Harris playing the way he's playing and Joel Embiid playing the way he's playing and Ben Simmons being aggressive, big, fast passer guy who scores sometimes. I think it's possible. Daryl Morey had a quote. He was interviewed by Stephen A. Smith before this game, and Daryl Morey said, "It is championship or bust for the Sixers this season." Daryl Morey put it right out there. These guys are on the verge of getting split up. Obviously, you know he's going to pick Joel Embiid, and if they don't win a championship this year, Daryl Morey is going to trade Ben Simmons. If Ben Simmons continues to play like this, the sky's the limit. If he goes back to disappearing and scoring 5 points in a loss to the Memphis Grizzlies and things like that, Daryl Morey might pull the trigger at the trade deadline. But all I want at this point is Ben Simmons to give me a 17-point triple-double. That's all I want. That's all the team needs, right? And then his elite defense on the other side of the ball and his leading the league in deflections and causing turnovers and locking players up on the perimeter. Yes, I love it. I love every second of it. Thank you, Ben Simmons, for showing up in this game. You played a fantastic game. I'm not going to sit up here and hate on you. Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid finishes with 28 and 6, 4 assists. A lot of double teams. You know, had to pass out a lot of double teams. Got in trouble late, getting the ball stolen by Alex Caruso when the Lakers went on that crazy run. But 28 is light for Embiid. And that's how good he is. You know, he had a tough game, couple of tough matchups. You know, Marc Gasol always gives Embiid problems. Anthony Davis can't guard him. I don't know which one. One of you guys told me that when I said who can guard Embiid, when I said who in this league, who in this entire NBA can guard Joel Embiid, somebody put Anthony Davis in the comments. I don't know if you've ever watched Anthony Davis play. No, he can't guard Embiid. He absolutely cannot guard Embiid. We got a 7'2" center out here driving under the rim, doing a reverse left-handed layup and one. Like, this guy is at the peak of his career. He's in such good shape right now. He looks so agile and nimble. He's just doing things that 7-footers aren't supposed to do. He has a hesitation pull-up jumper that looks like Kevin Durant. A 7'2" person shooting a one-dribble hesitation jumper, right? What does Durant call it? A hezzy pull-up. I don't remember. But Joel Embiid's jump shot has improved this season. I think it just looks like he put in so much work this offseason to finally chase that MVP trophy. And, man, is he playing like the MVP. And they hate the process, man. And we got to accept that they're always going to hate the process. And now LeBron James hates the process, so whatever. Embiid looks insanely motivated. I noticed that when he goes to that cool down area off of the court and sits by himself, he's not looking at anybody. He's not talking to anybody. He looks like he's meditating. He's sitting there staring with this level of focus on his face. He wants it. Joel Embiid wants an NBA championship this year, and we got to ride it as far as we can. We have to. And Ben Simmons, you got to help him out. You helped him out in this game. Great game from everyone. Stepped up against the Lakers in a huge moment. I got nothing negative to say. I'm very, very, very happy with this game. Danny Green. Danny Green put in 14 points. Danny Green hit some wide open threes, played some great defense. Dennis Schroeder tried to take him to the rim, and he smacked the ball into the first row and stared at him. I loved it. Danny Green gave us all we can expect from Danny Green, man. 14 points and 6 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? Seth Curry was colder than my baby mom in a snowstorm without a jacket, but it happens sometimes. You know what I mean? He's a shooter. He finished with 2 points, 1 for 6, 0 for 3 from 3. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Shake Milton, a couple of nice buckets off the bench. It's all we ask from Shake Milton. A little bit of a light game for him, but the starters played a lot of minutes, and Shake only played 20. He finished with 9 points in 20 minutes, 4 for 8 from the field. Korkmaz did his thing a little bit. Wide open 3 off the screen. A little bit of J.J. Redick-esque dribble handoffs that I used to hate that Brett Brown used to run. But, because sometimes Korkmaz gets in that screen situation and he's not a great ball handler and he turns it over and everything. But hit a couple nice wide open threes. What was he? He was 2 for 3 from 3, and he has a 1 dribble mid-range pull-up. Played a little bit of defense. Plucked the ball from somebody from behind. I think Anthony Davis, he plucked the ball from behind. And then he actually got ISO'd on LeBron, and LeBron just bullied him under the basket and did an easy layup like he wasn't even there. So that's a mismatch that you try not to let happen too much. Furkan Korkmaz is never going to be a great NBA defender, but if he can come in and give us 8 points in 10 minutes, yeah, hell yeah, we'll take it. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell yeah. Tyrese Maxey only played 5 minutes. A lot of people were saying on Twitter, like, where's Tyrese Maxey? Where's Tyrese Maxey? I think Doc Rivers was just taking it easy. It's a huge game against a huge opponent. Doc wanted it to be more of probably a playoff atmosphere. He wanted to play most of his players as if he was playing them in the playoffs to really finally see, because he hasn't gotten a chance to do this. We've been playing dick around games all season. Like, he didn't get a chance to do this. So Embiid gets 37 minutes, Tobias 36, Ben Simmons 39, Danny Green 36, So he was really running this like a playoff roster, and I think that's why Tyrese Maxey just didn't really get in the game that much. But when he did, he made it at 4 points in 5 minutes. Tyrese Maxey impressed me in just 5 minutes. Nice hard take to the rim and gets an and one call on Marc Gasol, I think, maybe Anthony Davis, I forget. But I was really happy about what Tyrese Maxey did in that little bit of time. Matisse Thybulle all over the floor, of course. I don't know why. I couldn't say that. Matisse Thybulle all over the floor. Didn't score any points. He only hit a free throw when he got fouled in a certain situation. He missed 1 wide open 3, but in 15 minutes, Matisse Thybulle comes in, plays that hard-nosed defense, harasses people left and right, gets his 3 steals, does what Matisse Thybulle does. Absolutely love the kid. Feed Matisse is a lifestyle. Dwight Howard only played 7 minutes in this game. I'm sure, obviously Dwight would like to play more time than that, but this is the reality here. This is what it's going to look like in the playoffs. The starters are going to go almost 40 minutes. The bench guys are going to go, 7, 5, 10, 15, things like that. Dwight only saw 7 minutes, so that is what it is, but I'm just happy that this looked like what it's going to look like in the playoffs. It gave us a real idea of how good this team actually can be. And yes, the X factor, because you're going to get this from Embiid every night. We already know that. You're going to get 28 from Embiid easily every night with his eyes closed, right? You're going to get 24 from Tobias Harris every night. That's what he looks like this season. He's giving you 24 every night. You know what I mean? The X factor in whether or not this team can go all the way and win an NBA championship, yes, is Benjamin Simmons. When Ben Simmons puts in the effort, wakes up in the morning and decides that he wants to play basketball, the sky's the limit for this team. It's up to you, Ben. It's all up to you. I know you said you don't read Twitter. I know you said you don't watch YouTube. I don't believe you. I think you watch my videos. It's up to you, Ben. You can take this team to an NBA championship. If you want it. You got to want it. Yeah, man, I don't know. What else am I supposed to say? It's amazing what 1 year and a coaching change can do for a team. It just is, man. I know the roster construction was horrendous last year. I know Al Horford didn't fit next to Joel Embiid, but Brett Brown should have recognized that from the jump, and he should have stopped trying it, but he kept trying it. And even when Embiid was out, he played Kyle O'Quinn next to Al Horford. He had this obsession with playing two centers at the same time. It was the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. And then he would get in a press conference and say, I coached Tim Duncan. Playing in the post is a very important part of the game. It's just stupid. Just absolutely stupid shit from Brett Brown. Fire Brett Brown is a lifestyle. And when I finish my Philly sports sleeve on my right arm, I might just tattoo hashtag Fire Brett Brown in there just to do it. The post is important, but space is very important. And Daryl Morey came in here right away and said, all right, first thing we need to do is create some space. Get Al Horford the hell out of here and get some shooters on the team. This ain't rocket science. This is easy. I got this. Doc Rivers came in and said, okay, you guys are fat. Get on the line. Run until you throw up. And then come back tomorrow, run until you throw up. You're not going to do anything if you're not in shape. It's just wild. Absolutely wild. What a coaching change and a president of basketball operations, I guess, change, even though Elton Brand is still here, can do for a team. LeBron James is still good. Still really, really good at his age. It's unbelievable to watch, aside from him being a little bitch the whole game. He finishes the game with 34 points. Ben Simmons was on him a lot. I would have liked Ben Simmons to look like he could shut him down a little bit more than he did. Danny Green was on him a lot. The X factor here in this game was really keeping Anthony Davis in check. He finishes with 23 and 8 rebounds, a -4 from the field. But they played great defense on him. Embiid played great defense on him. Ben Simmons played great defense on him when he was there. It was great. And to get 5 turnovers from LeBron and AD combined, good stuff, man. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think this team, if Ben Simmons decides he wants to play basketball, with the spacing, Joel Embiid 100% healthy and at the top of his game, and everybody getting to the right spots and spacing the floor and playing off of the double teams and all that, can this team win an NBA championship? I said we all knew this was the first test. This was the first real test of the season. They passed the test. I know I screamed a lot leading up to this. I know I said this team's not good enough. I know maybe I was a little bit overreactionary in certain situations. Me? Overreacting? Me? DJ Eastwood? I mean, really, if you think about it, I do a daily podcast and a YouTube show, and I need things to talk about. And if the Sixers lose to the Memphis Grizzlies and Ben Simmons scores 5 points, what am I going to do? What am I going to make a 20-minute podcast episode saying, this doesn't matter. It's the beginning of the season. Nobody cares. Don't listen to this podcast, yada, yada, yada. No. Of course, I'm going to analyze the game and give you my thoughts on that particular individual game and performance. And, yeah. A little bit overreactionary, but I think that's why people tune in, because I give it to you straight, unfiltered, 100%. Oh, that's all I got for you, man. That was fun. Who we got next? Who we got next on the calendar here, man? Standings. All right, let's look at the standings. The Sixers are 13-6, and you know what? Without the COVID bullshit, we'd probably be 15-4. Or even more. So we're leading the Eastern Conference. Did Brooklyn play last night? We're leading the Eastern Conference 13-6. A game and a half ahead of Brooklyn. I didn't even pay attention to if Brooklyn played last night. The Nets played the Hawks. Oh, yeah, that game went into overtime. And the Nets pulled it out 132-128. see the Kevin Durant, James Harden check in here. I think Kyrie Irving finally accepted the fact that he's the third wheel in this team. He only put up 17 shots in this game and took a step back and got 7 assists. James Harden, 31 points, 8 rebounds, and 15 assists. Just ridiculous. Kevin Durant, 32 points. But the story remains for the Brooklyn Nets. They give up 128 points and go into overtime with the Atlanta Hawks, and we hold the Los Angeles Lakers to 106. Defense wins championships. Well, scoring points wins championships too in today's NBA, but defense is very important, and the Brooklyn Nets don't have it. They don't. We're the favorite in the East, and I would absolutely just be ecstatic if this Lakers-Sixers matchup was a 7-game NBA Finals series. Give me all your thoughts and opinions in the comments. My name is DJ Eastwood. This is Run It Back Philly. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please give me a rating and a review. You guys have a good day. Peace.